becomes an idol.
Right.
Anything.
Right. But this is the main idol.
Yeah, that everybody.
Give me Psalm 44 and 20, I think it is. But hold that, what you got. This is the main idol that people are bowing down to, they get offended, and they have a problem with. You understand? 44 verse 20. This is the main idol that our people can't stop worshiping. So what's going to happen? Everyone who has this idol in your mind, you're going to be destroyed in judgment day.
That's right.
This is an actual person. His name is Caesar Borgia.
That's right.
It's an actual person. And when the white man came into power during the time of the Renaissance, when the white man came into power, I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
When the white man came into power, he painted this image up. And this represented the new Jesus. And he went through hundreds of places and conquered in the name of white Jesus. Because when you see this, you see the white man. When you fear this, you fear the white man. When you respect this, you respect the white man.
That's right.
Read that real quick. Let me show you something real quick.
That's why Jesus Christ said, worship me in spirit and in truth. They just said,
hold the piece, bro.
This is the book of Psalms chapter 44, verse 20.
Read.
If we have forgotten the name of our God.
Now the Lord is talking to us, sister, in 2018. He said, if we have forgotten the name of our God, what is God's name in the Hebrew? No, there's no. It's not Jehovah. There's no V in J.
I don't know the Hebrew name, but I know like.
It's Yahweh. In the Hebrew, the Most High's name is Yahweh.
Yeshua.
Yeah, no, it's Yahweh.
It's Yahweh.
Yeah, you understand? That's why, like when we were speaking to him earlier, right before you came, we said that these people, the heathens, the non-Jews, the Lord said His name is dreadful among the heathens. They don't call on the Lord's true name. They say they call him brother. They call him Hashem, the name. They don't call on the Lord's real name. But us, as so-called black people, we know the Most High's name, and our job is to bring you back to the Most High. The white man and the white woman, they're gonna fight it.
What's the Most High's name? What's his name?
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
So,
where did you find that?
in the Hebrew. In the Hebrew, in the Torah.
How do you link black people to Judaism? I'm curious.
Well, let me ask you a question to make you think. Are all black people the same, biblically and historically? Weren't the Jews in captivity under the Egyptians? Here you go, right here.
That's biblical.
Listen to what I'm asking you. Let me ask you. This is what I'm asking.
That's not even real story.
Listen. Here we go. Do you believe in the Bible?
Yes, I do, but just you can talk to her. I want you guys to talk.
No, I'm gonna come back.
Instead of
Absolutely right.
I want us to talk.
Listen, I can't. But you got to remember when you read the Bible.
You're ignoring.
I'm not ignoring. I'm cutting you off.
He's coming to a question so he can get back to you. I just want everybody to talk. Let's just talk. Yes.
What you don't understand is when Christ spoke, or when the prophet spoke, or the servants of the Most High spoke, even though the word went out, people were disagreeable with what was going out, not because we couldn't talk with each other. There's certain spirits and elements that controls people's minds. You might find that hard to believe or difficult, but we've been doing this long enough that we can kind of recognize that, and we can recognize who's reasonable and who we can reason with. You understand? Some people's job is to come. I'm not saying it's you.
No.
Some people's job.
I'm asking you a tangible question.
And I'm trying to answer you in a respectful way. You understand? When you read the Bible, all dark-skinned people are not the same. You understand? When you read the story of the children of Israel when they were in Egypt.
How so? I'm asking.
When you ask me a question, you're not going to let me finish answering your question because you don't like. Because I'm taking too long. What are you in a hurry? You see what I'm talking about? Let me give you an example. Give me the book of Acts, the 21st chapter, the 36th verse. One second. I went to her because she's really trying to listen. She's kind of difficult. I don't know what you are at the moment. The spirit will be real. I'm gonna show you something. Let me show you something.
Oh my God!
21 verse 36. Now when Paul, the prophet Paul, or the servant, look up here, sister. Look up here.
He likes you.
She's my sister. I do like her. She's my sister. You see what I'm talking about now? You see what I'm talking about? You're gonna learn something here today. This is spiritual. It's not like a classroom where you just go and sit down and, ooh, I got a question, professor. It's a spiritual. Read that. Check it out.
The book of Acts chapter 21.
Verse 36.
Come
on.
For the multitude of the people.
Start at the 35th verse, sorry.
And when he came upon the stairs.
So this is Paul. He's coming to the stairs and he's dealing with the people just like we're dealing with you. He's trying to educate them in the spirit of Christ. Come on.
So it was that he was born of the soldiers.
So he was being arrested because of what he was teaching. We've had situations where we've been arrested because of what we were teaching. Come on.
For the violence of the people.
For the violence of the people. If you stay here long enough, sometimes the people, they get violent towards us because they have spirits on them. Everybody has a spirit, whether it's negative or positive. If you're used to a lifestyle of loose sex and drugs, and we on the Bible show you that those things are contrary to the Holy Spirit, and you're going to be judged by it, you get mad sometimes. Not you per se, but some people get mad and violent. So you got the same thing during the times of Paul. The scriptures tell you there's no new thing under the sun, even situations. Come on.
For the multitude of the people followed.
Come on.
After. Crying, away with him.
Away, get out of here with that. We don't want to hear that. You understand? You had situations like that in the past. So not everybody is open to what we're saying. So back to you. You understand?
I have another question.
Well, I mean, can I finish the first question? All right. The first question was, the first answer to the question I asked you was, all dark-skinned people are not the same. Like, this is history right here. You understand? The Jews were in captivity under the Egyptians. One dark-skinned nation oppressing another dark-skinned nation.
That's right.
For example, we call ourselves Africans, but we don't act nothing like Africans. You don't see Africans mingling or bonding with us. Why is that? Because the Africans are well educated and they know we are two different people. Let me finish. Can I? All right. Can I finish my point? Can I see? You get aggravated because of that now, right?
But that's not true.
Well, I'm getting aggravated because it's frustrating, but I know how to deal with it, and we're gonna move on.
You're turning your back on me.
Because I'm trying to. Because I'm turning my back onto you. I'm turning my back onto you. I'm turning my back. See, that's Satan.
Wait. I want to hear the answer that you were just talking about. How the Africans are different.
The Africans.
He's giving you
that part. I'm interested.
Give me 1 second. We'll get something. We'll get a picture for you.
Yeah.
The Africans.
I want to hear.
The Africans.
You keep cutting him off. That's why he's not.
Yeah, exactly. You keep cutting him off every time.
Not only that, she has a strong spirit on her.
You're still interrupting.
I want to answer a question first.
Answer your question.
I'm done with her. Africans, they have a different spirit from us, and they walk in a different character than us. Why is that? Because they are a completely different nation from us. They're known as the children of Ham. You can try to be African, but you're not African. You're fooling yourself. You don't see any Africans bonding with you or trying to support you or speaking up against your oppression in this country or anywhere. You don't see that. You don't have the same spirit as the Africans.
That's right.
The Africans have always been your enemies since Egypt and after. You are not African.
Okay, I have a question. Can it be something of social issue? Because you can have somebody, for example, born in Jamaica, somebody else born in a different country of another black person. We're not talking about Africa, just to refer to black people. But these two people grew up differently. She may come up here and she's from Barbados. They can't relate. They can relate by skin color. They can relate because...
Well, let me ask you a question on that.
Wait, 1 second. Working English, but maybe they can't relate because of the social issue, because we grew up differently.
Right.
Maybe she had a silver spoon. Maybe she didn't have one. Maybe, like, school issue, like anything. So how is that? This is why I don't get. I want you to explain that to me.
Give me Deuteronomy 7:6. Let me ask you a question. You got people that come up here from Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica, you understand, Belize, you understand? And you have Africans that come from different parts of the world, right? All born under different so-called cultures, different types of food, certain music, but then yet they still stay separate. The Africans still stay separate from you. They don't walk like you, act like you, but yet, if you're from the Barbados, you're from Trinidad, you're from Haiti, you all seem to have the same character and mannerisms. How do you explain that? Another case of example. Let me finish. I got one more, and I'll let you speak. Another one. You got on our sign, we claim that Hispanics are brothers and sisters. How is it that the Hispanics, when they come to this country, let's use Puerto Ricans as an example, they fit right in with you so-called Negroes. Puerto Rican rappers, no African rappers. Dominican rappers, no African rappers. Puerto Rican baseball players, no African baseball players. Not on a large scale. Why is that? Why do we mingle and fit the same way? Let me just read something for you out the scripture, and you can ask your next question. Read that.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6.
Come on.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
The Lord said, these are holy people unto the Lord thy God. What people can sustain the abuse and oppression and hell they catch in the prisons and in drugs? Remember the 80s when the crack epidemic hit us?
That is your opinion.
You understand?
You understand?
Don't look up here. What's your name? What's your name?
That's your opinion, actually.
D. Like I told you, this is spiritual. You understand? You're going to have all types of forces that's going to try to make you not pay attention to what's here. You're hearing. Just examine it and exist in what we're saying. The more I get to you, the more I look up here, D, you see your eyes keep going that way. Hold your attention. This is spiritual. This is spiritual. Read it again. Read it again. I'm going to say what the Bible says.
Holy people unto the Lord thy God.
The Lord said, we are a holy people unto the Lord our God. These people on the sign right here are a holy people unto the Lord. Don't do it. Don't do it, D. D, stay with me. Stay with me. I'm answering your questions. You are the focal point right now. Stay with me. One more time, come on.
You're actually insulting
a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Come on.
The Lord thy God has chosen thee.
The Lord said he has chosen these people, the Jews. He has chosen you, D, and me, our people who are Haitian, Trinidadian, Jamaican. He has chosen. Stay with me. I'll let you speak.
Where is she from? She has an accent, Caribbean accent.
Okay, she's one of our people. I'm not saying she's not one of our people. She's just she's just difficult. She got the devil is ruling her right now. You see how calm you are and open you are? The devil's not ruling you right now, but the devil's got it. I'm gonna show you that in a little while. One more time from the beginning, a little faster.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Come on.
The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people.
He has chosen us to be a special people. Come on.
Unto himself.
Unto himself. Come on.
Above.
Oh, what?
Above.
The Lord said above. Come on.
All people that are upon the face of the earth.
So you, D, and you, sister, the Lord has chosen us to be above all people that's on the face of this earth, including the Africans. The Africans have no dealings with you. They have a completely different spirit. The Lord made all people, but he made these people different from you. That's why you're not going to get...
Now, can you show me how they're different from us?
Their characteristics, their rituals. We don't do stuff like this. You cut your face like that?
That's people, that's tradition.
I'm sure we don't do that. I understand. But we've lost, listen to me. We've lost our true traditions, which are in the Bible. But there are traditions that we won't go beyond the scope of righteousness or even decency to do, whereas Africans will do. It's not in your nature. Like, for example, we were brought here as slaves under the white man. Give me Proverbs 12, verse 26.
Who's we, the Black Americans?
The so-called Black Americans. We were brought here as slaves.
When you say Black Americans were not African, they're Hebrew.
We are Hebrews. We are the real Jews. It was African, not Africans. Africans sold blacks to the so-called white.
But if they're brought you from Africa, they bring you here.
Well, I didn't get a chance to go into everything. Before you got here, we were kicked out of our homeland. We were kicked out of our homeland, and we started following the gods of the other nations. So God kicked us out of our homeland because we were disobedient. I'm coming to you. God kicked us out of our homeland because of our disobedience to the Most High. You understand? That's what happened, and we started learning the ways of all the heathens. Drop it, go to Jeremiah 17, verse 4. I'm gonna show you.
Jeremiah who?
17th chapter, the 4th verse. Could you go around? Would you mind going around?
I was gonna bring that up. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4.
Come on.
And thou, even thyself,
back on us again. The Lord said, thou, even ourselves, come on,
shall discontinue.
When you discontinue, what is that? You stopping from doing what you originally were doing. So what did we discontinue from? Following the commandments of God, living a righteous lifestyle. Read it again for us.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
Now the Lord said, because let me finish this business. He said, you're gonna discontinue from the heritage that he gave you, because Mother's Day is not your heritage. Easter is not your heritage. Christmas, but that's good. But Christmas is not your heritage. But our people celebrate these heritages that was given to us. But the Lord said we're going to discontinue from our true heritage and follow another heritage. So we were going to discontinue from the heritage that God gave us. Come on.
And serve thine enemies.
And serve our enemies. Who's our main enemy we're serving?
Who are the enemies?
I'm asking you. I know.
Is it like, I mean, well, I just want to be real. The way the world is shaped, the white man is considered to be the majority. They basically put us in captivity even till now.
Okay, so you listen to your words. You say they basically put us into captivity. But,
even till now, not just me.
Okay, so who is the enemy that you're serving?
So it seems like it's them.
It's a question or is that an answer?
It seems like it's them.
It seems like it or is it? It seems like it or is it?
I think it's them. So
you think it's them or you know it's them?
I think it's them. I know it's them.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Now, there you go. Don't feel bad. You feel bad? You feel bad? Okay, all right.
If I don't know, I don't want to be like.
But you do. But you said you're not sure.
Now that
what's your first name? D, right? What's your middle name?
I don't have a middle name.
What's your last name? Moreau. Is that the name of your forefathers or is that the name of the white man?
That's your name. That's your slave master's name.
From the French? And all the French so-called white people?
Yes.
Okay, do you pay attention?
My first name is Greek, the last one.
Okay, so you have the slave master's name. Okay. And the majority of people, do they follow religion? The majority of your people, do they follow religion?
They do.
Okay, is that your heritage or is that the white man's heritage?
It's not ours.
Okay, tell me then, who is it?
It's theirs, not ours.
Okay, so the enemy again. So our names come from the enemy.